What's going on, guys? We're back. Not gonna lie to you, it's been a minute, and it's quite a bit colder out. Yeah, it's been a minute since I came out here. Um, I had a, you know, life and a lot of other things going on, and so I needed some time for that. I picked up or recovered a salvage deer for some meat, which I did a little vid of just for fun. So that took some time, but really it doesn't hurt anything for these to be soaking in the degrease. So today I'm going to, or tonight, we're like 7 o'clock at night. I'm going to pull these out and get a look at them and see where we're at. For the most part, there's one elk here that had a little bit of like just a little bit of tissue still on it. That'll probably, you know, be either gone or just kind of brush it off. So they all should be done on the nasty side. So what we're looking at right now pretty much is just degreasing with about 3% of meat removal to come off on one of these. But these have been in here for about 2 weeks probably. So this is the two here, and that's all that white. That is fat and grease coming out of there. This one here, I have one elk and my buck, and I put this board up here so my deer wouldn't fall all the way to the bottom. One thing I was wondering is if the noses had fallen off or not. This one is a no. Not yet, but it probably would to the touch. So I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a lot of white, like white, and that's just fat. You can like scrape it off. Nasal is fully intact. Just a couple of pieces of scraps hanging on. Now the antler does get a little loose, so you have to be very careful. That joint that's right here, I'm trying not to break the nose off. This joint right here gets real loose. As soon as you pull it out of the water, I will zip tie this, not super tight, but tight enough to kind of close it all up, and then just let it dry natural, and it'll harden like a rock. So these nose pieces are very frail. Anybody that does taxidermy knows that happens. If they come off, it's no big deal, but I try to keep them on as long as possible. The teeth get all loose with all the gums and cartilage coming out, so they will have to be glued. But really, that thing is, I mean, I haven't done nothing. That's pretty damn good. And like I said in my last video, I'm keeping this natural, so I'm not even going to whiten it. I am going to do another degreasing bath for another week. So I killed the heat in here. I had a lot of crap going on, and I didn't want to forget about them. And usually I'll come out here and check them every day. and you know, that kind of thing. And I was doing a lot of running around, so I killed the heat. And really, these have been sitting in just cold water for probably the last week. But this one here that was in with my buck was the one from the previous video that I showed putting it into clean water with soap, and it was the one in the blue. So, and then, you know, that video was kind of long, but it was over the course of, I think, 3 days. The next time I came back, that video was all green and yellow. There's a dog back here that don't like me apparently. So it'll still do it in cold water. It just slows the process down a little bit. But also I kind of have this fear of them getting too soft under warm temperatures for a long period of time. Now people will degrease for 8 months, which sounds insane, but apparently if you can leave a skull in the water for 8 months without damaging the bone, I don't know what I'm worried about, but I am. I don't know if this is accurate, and somebody that might do skulls that could be possibly watching this will probably be like, bro, you're an idiot. But I feel like bigger, more mature animals, they kind of, the meat, it doesn't want to come off as well. And it could just be this process too. I don't know. I haven't done this process too long. I'm still filling things out, but I'm always just learning. Anywho, if you're not learning, what are you doing? I don't know what I'm saying. Some people don't like to take advice or learn new stuff. I'm always trying to learn new stuff. Oh yeah, that one's still got some nasty on it. So let me try to get this taken care of right now. Oh, that's the smell right there. Oh, God. I'll tell you, these tanks, they will like create a seal on top of, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. And once you break that seal, God, it's pretty wild. Good night. We got some yuckies, as my kid would say. Gotta be careful with these noses. And pull it all out. So on this one, all of these have to come out if you boil, because I mean, sometimes you can chance leaving them in if they survive. If you can blow down the nose with a pressure washer, and really you can't see down there, so you really have no idea if you got everything when you're boiling and blowing and using the pressure washer and stuff. You really don't know if you got it all out, so you're chancing it, but you'll find out when you take that thing home, put it in your house. In a heated house, if there's any fats and oils, meat in here, yeah, ooh. So, okay, I'm gonna pause you for a minute, get some water dumped, and see you back here in a second. What's going on, guys? So as far as dating this process goes, we are November 25th, and I'm kind of just making this little update because my phone died last night while I was kind of talking you through where I was at. So I just wanted to come in and show you what's going on 24 hours later. And yeah, so here we are, and you can literally see, I mean, this is only 24 hours. I will give them some more time, but that's 24 hours in the degreasing bath, and you can see every square inch of all three. This one here is a little bit more cloudy than that one. In this one, we have the lower jaw to my buck and the lower jaw to one of these elk. One. So there's nothing to do on this one. This is literally just a show you what's up since my phone died. But yeah, we'll let them sit and do their thing. Yeah, this is just a daily update. Thanks for sticking around. Alright guys, welcome back to the next little part of this school cleaning. I had my mind made up when I decided I was going to do this today. Work was a little slow, so I ended up coming home, so I ended up having some time to work on these. And I kind of had an expectation of what I was going to find, which was that some degreasing was still to be had, and so I went and got some peroxide for whitening. But now that I've came into the shed, I'm not sure what I'm thinking now. Those look almost, I mean, if we want to get technical, I don't see a difference in them from now and when I did these, put these in here roughly a week ago. So yeah, so in order to speed up the process, I feel like I've done my due diligence with letting them soak in pole grease and what have you. That water, it might have a slight tint to it, meaning that it has continued to do it, but the fact that you can still see every bit of all three of those skulls kind of tells me that it's practically done. So what I was going to do, since these have literally cleaned, the meat has been cleaned, they have been degreased in warm water, never in, I didn't boil these, I didn't stick them in the boil for hours and let all that happen. I don't know what kind of response I'll get from this, but I was going to do my old method of whitening in a boiling pot. When you do it that way, or at least the way that I've done it that way, the skulls go into the boil completely clean in a whitening bath for like 10 or 15 minutes. You pull them out, you rinse them off, boom, let them dry, they're done. That's what I was gonna do. I'm sitting here looking at these, not saying that in their current state they don't need to be whitened, because they do. But yeah, I'm looking at this now, wondering if that time, that 10 to 15 minutes, is going to be more of like 5 to 10. Because I want to put them in, I want to keep them out as long as possible. I want them to be in boiling water for as least amount of time as possible. That amount of time ain't going to do anything. That peroxide will help pull any remaining grease, the little itty bitty bits of tissue, that kind of thing. So I think it'll be just fine. And in one pot, you get an amount of peroxide that'll cover that pot, and then you can do all the skulls in it. I don't have to buy a bunch for, 1, 2, and 3. Anywho, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna make one batch, one bath, do them one at a time for about 5-10 minutes. Let them rinse them off thoroughly, very well, and all the nooks and crannies. Get all that peroxide off it. Tie up the nose and the nose pieces and the center nose bone. And I'll probably do that before I put it in the bath, but and then let them dry, and they will be done. Like I said before, though, I think I'm not whitening my buck. I'm not whitening my buck, so I'll probably pull it out, let it dry, and just see what it looks like. And at that point, I'll probably find out whether or not it needs to go back into a degrease for longer, since I'm not whitening it. So, anywho, I got a fire made out there. My backyard is a freaking pigsty. I need to get these done and out of here so I can put some of this crap in here. So, the finished product will not be done today, but the pretty much the last step. The only thing after today will be time. Give it a little bit of time to dry, to air out, and then the last thing is to just glue anything that's loose, nose pieces, teeth. I can't remember if they wanted me to glue the ivories in it or not. I don't remember, so I'll have to ask each owner of the bull if they wanted them left in or out. But yeah, so I'm just gonna do like a little I don't know what I'll do. Might go in and out of a time lapse or something, and yeah, we'll just get these pretty much get them polished off. Well, it's kind of shady over here. I can't find a good spot to stand. Anyway, well, just look at these things out and about. This is my buddy's 6x6. This is my other buddy's, one of his sons, a 5x5, and then the boat. I don't even know if this thing like really shows what's going on here, but this thing is huge. But he's got such a big point or whale tail on this left side beam that he sits kitty wampus. But yeah, so anyway, I got the pot going, And that's going to be the longest part of this process. I don't know how long it's going to take to get that thing hot. I was hoping to use that smaller bucket over there, but this toad, yeah, he didn't even come close to fitting. So my backyard is in shambles. There's crap everywhere. Tried to light a fire to stay warm because it's shaded back here, and that's being a nightmare. It looks like it might finally be going, but yeah, until that thing, because you don't put them in there until it's ripping, so that it's they're in there when it's at its peak. You put them in there, start the timer, 10-15 minutes, and it might be more on the 15-minute. I know I was saying earlier that due to how done they look that it'd probably be less time, but I thought I was gonna be able to use a smaller bucket. No, smaller bucket equals less water to peroxide ratio, which means hotter bath, both peroxide and heat, which equals less time. But I have what I have in peroxide. That is more water than I anticipated. The whole time I was planning on the smaller one, and that's a big bucket. That's for cooking a turkey. So my bath isn't going to be as hot chemically because there's going to be more water to. Usually you want it to be like 50-50. Not that that would have been 50-50. I don't like going that hot, but it's going to be even more diluted. So probably be at the 15-minute mark, and I think that'll be just fine. So in the meantime, while that's doing that, coming to a boil, I need to wrap all these antlers, and yeah, hopefully by the time I get that done, the first one will be ready to go in. And maybe I could do 2 in there at a time, but if there's any weirdness, I'm not going crazy. I'm not in a rush. I need to zip tie the noses because each one of them are all very, very loose. I don't want to put them in there and have them fall off in that, because then that'll be fun to try to get them out. So anyway, I'm gonna pause it, let that water come to a boil, and wrap up some antler. Clearly not good at this filming thing. I got them all wrapped, both with like a packaging wrap, and electrical tape, so that they don't hopefully get any of the peroxide on them. God, this thing is such a piece of crap. Should probably upgrade some things so that I can make somewhat better quality things. Not that this is a great video that I make, but I like to do it. And if somebody's trying to do it themselves and they want to watch my vid and try my method, because it is my method. Everybody's got different methods. Everybody does it differently, uses different stuff. I just feel like I've tried a lot of them, and some ways I like, some ways I don't. I'm not saying this is a bad way to do this, because it'll do it fast, but this isn't my favorite way. I don't like having to do all this wrapping and all that crap, because when you put it in there, now this big bastard, it's not going to be an issue. That 6 point's probably not going to be an issue, but this little 5 point, it's so small that it's going to want to go into the pot further, like deeper, and I need to prohibit that from happening. You don't want to, you put the wrap on there to allow yourself to be able to put it in the water slightly, and for 10 or 15 minutes it really shouldn't be enough. If you wrap it good, it shouldn't be long enough to do anything. You might have to do a little touching up, which I don't like to do. That's why I don't care to do this. I've done it, and it's not my friend. It's not my favorite thing. So yeah, this is where we're at. Pot is warm but not hot. I got some of the peroxide in there. That's why she's bluish, whitish, and milky in color. But this needs to get hot enough to really melt it down to where it's liquid. So, yep. We'll see you when we get there. Alright guys, we are back. This thing is finally where we need it to be. So, honestly, I have no idea how long it took to get it there, but probably at least an hour. So the first one is going in, 20-minute clock to follow. The burr is not completely under the water, which in a lot of ways is good, but really I need to at least splash some up there. And by burr, I didn't mean burr, I meant like how the antler base goes up. Okay, 20-minute clock starts. On to the next. Alright folks, well, got them all tucked away. Now they're just going to dry. It is cold out, so we will give them a couple days for that. And then we will kind of assess where we're at. If there's any part of these that need to be whitened a little bit more, then we will. Otherwise, yeah, we'll see how they come out. But based on how they look coming out and how they're already starting to dry, I think it's gonna turn out pretty freaking good. So, all right, it's been a freaking long afternoon for me. Primarily taking a lot of time to get that pot up to boil, and then only having room to do one at a time. It definitely took a while, so I'm hungry. It's time to go eat, relax, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. It has been a minute, and we are on the last little stage here. We got the 3 yolk. I ended up, well, after boiling or whitening in the boil, I didn't do a whole lot after that, other than put them in here and let them dry to see what they looked like in the well, after the whitening process and fully dried, because when they dry they get pretty darn white too. So you definitely want to give yourself time to let them dry so that you can see where you're at. And what I was seeing was that here on the, I don't even know what you call this, the antler base, I guess, of the skull, on all of them were not where I needed them to be at all. So unfortunately, I was kind of in a rush, so I just went ahead and did it again, or did what I needed to do to get those white. So that's why they look good now on all of them. But all I did was mix up a batch of 40 proof or 40 volume peroxide in the paste. It's not a liquid. I don't think cream in the cream, 40 volume Might have been 30 volume, but because I know they didn't have what I needed in the big jug, so it was a little bit lighter on the heat portion of it. But I mixed it with some Quick White bleach that's all sold at hair supply stores, and I just mixed up a batch of it, and really I didn't do the entire skull. I just did about that on all of them, and wrapped up the base in I just coated it on there, and then wrapped the base in saran wrap, which is, I used this packaging tape type of deal, and yeah, just wrapped it around, which was kind of a pain, because what you can end up seeing now and where I'm at today is that you do usually get a little bit of bleach that comes onto the burr here. You can see it on this one back here. Looks like it got a little bit more, and then this one here got a little, and here got a little. So for anybody who does skull work, everybody knows that you have to do touch-ups. It's just the name of the game. And this is damn near nothing compared to what I've had to do before. I had to do a buck where about here, from here up on the buck, was just as white as the horn. And so trying to match that much to make it look natural is really a pain. So this is like nothing. I'm just gonna use some wood stain. This is the special walnut. I think it'll work just fine. Really just to eliminate that clearly unnatural look, and it doesn't even need to match 100%, and it's gonna look like nothing ever happened. So are all quite loose. The noses are not horrible, actually, but they need to be more secured. Yeah, that one's got some. And that one's actually sitting on that, so I can't really tell. So, yeah, and then I will paint the whole thing, skull, antler, and all, with some Flooring Mop and Glow, which is just a floor product for, actually, to be honest, I don't know what it's actually used for the floor, but I've watched a million videos on a YouTube channel called Whitebone Creation, and this is literally his job. Well, I don't know if it's his full-time job, but he does a million skulls. He's done them forever, and he does everything you can imagine that has a head. So that's what he does. He says that it just gives it a nice scent. It gives it a very, depending on how much you put on, if you just cake it on, it'll make it really glossy, which is not what I'm trying to do. If you just do a light sheen over it, it gives it a nice little sheen. It gives it a nice scent, and it kind of helps not allowing dust to just cake up on it. So it's just a nice little finish. You don't have to do it, but I have been doing it. So really, I just need to stain the burrs. That's all it is. The parts of the burrs that I need to stain. Glue the teeth. I need to check about the ivories, if they need to go back into the skull or if they just want me to hand them to them. I don't remember. And we'll be all set. So it feels good. We're the day after Christmas. So this video has been spread out over a long time. But that's just how maceration works. I think it's a phenomenal way to do it. It takes a while. And definitely, if you're gonna do it, make sure you inform whoever's animal it is that it's gonna be done that way. And I guess from now on, I'm gonna offer people boil or maceration. It'll just depend on what they want and how fast they want it and what degree, what quality they want it, and leave it up to them. But I do, since last time, I do have this. That's a big old whitetail. Thing's got some crazy mass on him for an Idaho whitey. Where I'm at, I'm not in prime whitetail area, so this was a northern Idaho whitetail. So, all right, I've been talking more than I said I was going to talk, so I'm going to get going. This may not be the greatest view, but I don't have any options. Literally, I'm just putting some stain on a Q-tip, just controlling the amount that I'm needing, and just making sure I'm going down just to give it a little bit more, put a little color back in it. But really not too bad. Come on. But anyway, yeah, they came out real good, real white. So I'll just have to touch these up just a little bit for tonight, and then go from there. And then when I get them to a place that I'm happy, I always treat everybody's animal like it was mine. Like, if I'm not gonna be happy with it, I'm not letting it leave until I'm happy with it. So when we get to that point where I'm happy and comfortable with them being presented to whoever's animal they are, then I'll definitely show y'all a final product for my elk macerating skull cleaning for the year. I don't know if I'll do, I mean, this video pretty much covers it. I don't need to do another one for that one, but I still have on my, I am making kind of another little maceration series, and maybe I'll throw this one into that one, but I have a coyote and a sheep that I'm doing in a different kind of scenario. So I guess there will be something for that. But yep, just trying to get this one closed up, try to get them to everybody by the beginning of the year, or by the end of this year, which is only about a week to go. So, or actually it's less than a week to go. So anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Hope you guys enjoy it. I know it's a lot of me talking, and I think I'm out here freezing, so talking to myself is getting me through, I guess. So. All right. Well, we'll see you on the next one. All right, guys. I'm just doing this as like a little end of the project kind of video. Just wanted to show these things off in their complete state, and everything's glued, everything's floor and mopping glued, just to give it a nice little finish. And I don't have a very good way to display these for you, so I'm just going to show them to you right here. Don't mind my pool, but thing is huge. This one here is super, super dark, super big. And then more just the traditional elk coloration on this one here. But man, I'd be tickled to have any of them. So it's been fun doing them. I enjoy doing them every year. What I get to do anyway, still have that little, not little, it's a freaking tank, whitetail. But yeah, he's just kind of marinating. So I just wanted to pull these out. I do need to get a hanger to put on the fence or something, and it'd make things look a little bit better. But yep, these guys are getting ready to go bye-bye. So that's a relief for me. And then it'll be on to next season and next projects. I do have a couple others going on. I have a sheep, just a domestic sheep. I have a coyote and a raccoon. And then this buck here, which I think I showed him off a little bit already, but just a big old mature whitetail. So still things to do, but definitely getting these giants out of the shed is going to be nice. So all right, guys, well, I appreciate you guys sticking around and just hanging out, really. I don't know if what I'm doing is educational at all. I realize that it's a lot of me talking, but I'm not gonna lie, hanging out here in the freezing temperatures and talking to myself gets me through. So I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you on the next one.